Hello, 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 hello. Welcome everybody to another episode of Coffee with Bridgett. And tonight is one that is super special to me. My guest tonight, we've been working together for several years, and I can appreciate him not just for his creativity, but also his business mind. And so tonight, it is such an honor, a privilege, and a blessing to be able to share what I get a chance to experience a lot of times. So tonight, I'm inviting you into my private space. And I say that because I'm going to be transparent tonight when it comes to talking about creating and expanding the brand. So help me welcome my boss buddy, my boss friend, my fellow entrepreneur, and otherwise known as the creative genius, Claude Hamilton. Claude.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
I'm amazing. I was great. She's saying, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. First of all, let me tell you something. This conversation tonight about to be lit. It's what the young people say. It's about to be lit.
It's going to go down.
Yeah. Tonight, we're going to give the people a roadmap tonight. We're going to help people tonight. And, we're also going to talk a little bit about our journey and get a chance to answer some questions. Mm-hmm. And so, tonight will probably be one of the easiest conversations that I have because we talk so frequently that it just rolls off of us. Before we start our conversation, first of all, I want to say welcome to everybody that's joining us. Please like, share, invite a friend, get your notepad, get your pen, get your coffee mug, get your best girlfriend, get anybody that that's a creative. Listen, this is what I'm saying. And I also want to say hey to our friends. Yes, Queen Wiggins from my church. Queen Wiggins is here tonight. You had your crown on, Queen Wiggins. And Ilani, my fellow entrepreneur, creative Ilani, thank you for joining us. And my sister girl, Nikita McKenzie. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you. I see Claude got on his red jacket tonight, and I came through with the red lips, little coordination. But everybody, welcome. So Claude, before we dive into this discussion, I want to make sure people know how awesome that you really are. And so for those of you, if this is your first time joining us or joining me, and Claude, but you don't know me, I am Bridgett Battles, Executive President Strategist, and your host for Coffee with Bridgett. And tonight, Claude, I just want you to tell my audience, how amazing you are. So tell us a little bit about you and what makes you so awesome. Hey, cousin.
First of all, thank you for having me. I super appreciate the opportunity to share with your audience and your platform. Like you said, we talk all of the time and we just go. This is what we do. This is how we flow. My name is Claude Hamilton, as I said before. I am a graphic designer, creative genius. I own a company here called Creative Genius Studios. Been doing this for well over 15 plus years. It's a graphics and branding company, as well as some amazing other things that I do as well, because I am a creative. I just love all things creativity. That's just what it is. There's no cap to what I can't do or what I can do. So when you think you figured it out, like, oh, he's just a graphic designer, there's always something more. I think what makes me awesome, I don't know. I just love this thing called creativity, and I try to do it with a genius effort. And the G in genius stands for God. He's a part of my genius, and no matter what platform I'm on, you go catch the creative genius inadvertently or directly. Either door, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be a great conversation to have.
So I want to add, first of all, as we go into this conversation, Claude is also the designer for my Coffee with Bridgett mugs. Coffee with Bridgett mugs,
Ooh.
Claude is also my designer for that. Just want you, to also know. Hey, Sanji. Hey, come on in, Kamaya. So Claude, I want to rewind it back a little bit, and
sure.
I want to talk a little bit about briefly the conversation we had last Friday when we were chatting, and we shared some good things. And so I want to say to the entrepreneurs and the creatives that are watching us tonight, make sure if you have questions, put your questions in the comment section. But I also want to invite you on this journey because I believe there are some practical learning principles that we can share with you on this journey. So my first book, Beauty in Her Battle, Claude is the person who helped me come up with the title. And so I am I am an entrepreneur. Yes, I am a creative. Yes. And if you don't have my book, you can get it from www.thebbexperience.com. But me being a creative and an entrepreneur, I also still understand the power of having people who are expert in their field help you along the journey. I am in a place now where, I'm the face of the brand, but I don't want to do every single thing in the business, because I want to show up, for my clients and the people that I serve. I want to show up, in my authentic state, but I also want to show up as well. I'm giving people the best version of myself. And so we talk about my journey for creating, Beauty in Her Battle. I wrote the book, and I was struggling with the title, and, Claude was helping me design the first cover. And before we did the revised edition. And so Claude, I want to take the people through that process. And so one of the things that you did, and I don't know if you remember, you would ask me tons of questions. Where, at one point, when people ask you a lot of questions as an entrepreneur, you always feel like you have the answers because this is your baby and this is your brand. And nobody else can tell you about your brand or your baby better than you.
Right.
But then there are some questions that you need someone else to help you peel back that layer so that you can discover and uncover what's there. And so we did that process through Beauty in Her Battle. So, and I said all that to say, let's talk about how, when brands come to you or when entrepreneurs come to you, this process of really helping them uncover what's really hidden. Because we can give you pictures all day and say, I'm having this event, or I'm having this idea, or I have this construct, but does not necessarily mean it will translate to the audience.
Absolutely. You must interrogate the idea.
Ooh,
and what I love
out the gate swinging. Somebody put that in the comment section. You must interrogate the idea. Okay, go ahead.
You must interrogate the idea. When you interrogate the idea, especially when you're talking it out, there's something that is revealed from the soul of the vision of what you're carrying. That something happens from that person, and they're able to communicate that, and it comes across to the creative very, 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 very strong, very pungent, very concentrated. So when you interrogate, you begin to ask a whole lot of questions. I absolutely love instigating, especially when it comes to visions, when it comes to different dreams and ideas and concepts. I love asking a whole bunch of questions, because there inside of that conversation is the sauce or whatever ingredients you need to pull it together. And you need a creative or a genius or someone who's able to hear and who can also see. Because people, not every person, everybody has sight, but everybody does not have vision. There's a difference.
Everybody has sight, but everybody don't have vision, and that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are talking to a creative or someone to get your ideas out, you gotta be very intentional that you're talking to the right person. How often are we having the right conversations with the wrong people? Therefore, we got to be very intentional about the conversations we're having concerning our idea. You must interrogate the idea, because inside of it is something that we can uncover, unpack, and then repackage it and present it to the masses.
So, you had me at, you must interrogate the idea. So, you had me at that. All right. So let's unpack that,
Yes.
Because, when you interrogate something, you are asking the hard questions. And not only are you asking the hard questions, you are prepared to keep pressing the issue. So now I'm such a big fan of like cop shows, Chicago PD, Law and Order, SVU. Anything that Dick Wolf writes, like I'm so invested in it.
Absolutely.
But the commonality for all of the detectives are they interrogate. And so when they interrogate those that are accused, they use so many different strategies to pull out the truth from them. And what happens is a lot of times, and I know, I'm going to help the entrepreneurs, a lot of times we are not completely truthful when it comes to really sharing everything that's inside of us. And so let me break that down. When I say not completely truthful, does not mean that I'm calling you a liar. No, it just means that sometimes I hold back part of the story because I'm not ready to invite the entire world. I'm not ready to share with everybody everything that's inside of me. So we hold that back. So during this interrogation process, that is when we get to the meat of the message. And that is when we get you to the point where now we understand exactly what you want the audience to walk away with.
Absolutely. Inside of every inside of every interrogation, like you said, I think you said it very well. There is the strategy, there is the secret, there is the sauce, there is something there that helps build it. More than anything, inside of the interrogation of it, there lies the story. Mm-hmm. You can, whatever we're building, planning, producing, there is a story connected to the conversation. Mm-hmm. And we do ourselves a disservice when we do not fully lean in, be truthful, undress, and tell how we got from point A to point B. Beauty in Her Battle was a conversation, right, that we had. And I was literally interrogating, asking questions. Where was your mind? Where was your heart? And etc. to bring me all the way around. Though it probably was uncomfortable, though it probably was very intrusive, but we had to get down to the nitty and the gritty. And there we found the treasure inside of the trauma.
Right. So let's take it to the next level. And so for those of you who don't know, I wrote Beauty in Her Battle when I was going through the most challenging times of my life.
Right.
At that time, and I'm not giving any glory to, what happened, but I do believe that I found my strength in that process. Mm-hmm. So all through the process of Beauty in Her Battle, I was experiencing 2 deaths at one time. I was experiencing the death of my father, who was dying of cancer, and I was also experiencing the death of a 20-year marriage. Wow. And so going through the process, I experienced 2 deaths. And so the beauty of it was that I love fashion. Mm-hmm. But the battle was what I was fighting internally. Yeah. And so we talk about the interrogation. That was the part of the story that I never wanted to tell. Yeah. I never wanted to admit that I was going through a divorce. I never wanted to say the word divorce. And so the moment that I was able to unpeel that internally, and I want to be clear, going through a divorce is not my claim to fame. Let me go ahead and put that out there, okay? It's not. And I'm not giving any glory to that. And just as a tool disclaimer, I'm not throwing any jabs about my ex. No, that is not my point. My point is to say the process is where I found my strength.
Yeah, the process, in the process where you find your strength. And watch this, inside of the conversation, we took a pain point. Hope y'all catch this. We took a pain point and made it a paying point.
Yes. Yes.
We made the pain.
Absolutely.
The pain point became a paying point. So you literally can make your pain pay you.
Yes.
For what you've gone through.
And that was part of my process.
Yeah.
And so I hope y'all getting entrepreneurs. Yes. Nikita said I do that to her all the time. Yes, Nikita. I absolutely. And so, going through that process, and I'm being transparent because part of me going to this next level, that is, I have to sprinkle seeds to grow other entrepreneurs in my vineyard. Because the mindset that I have as a creative and an entrepreneur cannot be confined to one particular platform, idea, or construct. Mm-hmm. My entire brand or strategy, my service is beyond that, and it's so much bigger. Yeah. So I share my process tonight through the point of this conversation because I want the entrepreneurs that are here tonight to understand that you have to do this work in order for your brand to grow.
Yeah, you have to do the work. If you don't do the work and the process of it all, there's going to be a problem down the road. Mm-hmm. You gotta, as much as the pain hurts and as much as we love the promise of it all. Oh my God, it's a book. Oh my God, it's a product. Oh my God, it's a service. As much as that is to that degree, We have to fall in love with the process, excuse me. You just can't have the promise, the product or the service without process. Here's another gem. For every promise, there is a process.
And every process needs a strategy.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a strategy behind the process, you're throwing spaghetti at the wall trying to see what sticks.
Correct.
And occasionally something will stick, but 95% of the time it won't. And so what happens is entrepreneurs get frustrated because they want to see the promise in the very beginning of the process. The promise is not in the beginning.
No.
Promise is only when you have lived in the process, not through the process, in the process.
Right.
Because when you live through the process, you're coming out of it. But in the process, and I relate it back to my book because I want to make sure that we're giving you some practical points. And I hope this is good for y'all because it is good for me all over again. Okay. Listen, but when you live in the process, oftentimes we talk about, we talk about letting the wheat and tear grow together, and God will do the separating, in the process. In the process requires you to fast and pray, but it's also in the process requires you to do market research. The process also requires you to connect with an entrepreneur or connect with a coach, connect with a consultant, connect with somebody who has traveled along the road that you desire.
Yeah.
And going through that process, you have to submit and to surrender.
Yeah, you submit and surrender. And in that process, I'm going back to the conversation we had Friday, which was being able to accept the help. You gotta be willing to accept your help. I use the analogy of Jesus.
You better accept your help. Oh my God, that's good. All right.
I use the analogy of Jesus as he's going to Golgotha's hill to die on Calvary, right? Along the journey to Golgotha, we don't talk about this during the resurrection time, but we ought to. Along comes Simon and assists Jesus with his cross, never to deter him from what's going on, never to sway him and turn him back and say, Jesus, why don't you call down 10,000 angels and etc. He simply looks at Jesus, grabs the cross, lets Jesus walk behind him and or in front of him to help Jesus get to his destination. His destination was to die. So he had help along the journey, though he died naturally, but he also caused and redeemed humanity as a whole. So you got to be willing to accept your help. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to be willing to accept your help. And, when you get help, it has to be so crystal clear in you, because those of us who are passionate about the work, I've adopted the phrase for myself now that, I am this work. I am this work. What I do, I am this work. And I'm going to put a pin right here and I'm going back to this. So I said I was going to be transparent tonight, and I am. And I'm going to be very transparent tonight. And I'm leading up to, in the next 2 weeks, I'll be turning 48. And this year is my unstoppable year. This is my year of being unstoppable. Anything that I speak in the atmosphere, I am decreeing and declaring that I will not only have it, but I will own it.
Ah, I love it.
And so I've been decreeing and declaring it. And, things have started to happen, and, they happen at one time. And for, Monday and Tuesday, this week, y'all, I was in a full-on Baptist cry. Okay. Listen, I was in a full-on Baptist cry. All right.
You got a cry is good.
Yeah, I have cried. I cried for 2 days straight. So you might say, girl, what is you crying for? And let me tell you why I'm crying. Okay. So I was crying not for anything bad, but I was crying because of the fact that as an entrepreneur, I've always completed a task or a project and went to the next thing. And so I share my wins on social media to be the example to everybody I'm connected to show you that I've done this with the help of God, and you can do it as well. And I believe in you.
Yeah.
but I've never taken the time to actually sit in the moment.
Mm.
And so Monday and Tuesday, I called Claude, y'all. I was in a full-on Baptist frenzy over here, okay?
She's not lying. I
mean, y'all, I had to cry my lashes off, okay?
Whereas I was concerned, I was like, "Are you okay?
Yes.
Do I need to be on my way? What's the problem?"
Yes, but here's the thing. So I called Claude and I called a couple of my other friends because I have my core tribe and I have my core circle. And those people are the people who don't get a chance to just see the CEO. They see Bridgett.
Yeah.
They see me. And so at this particular moment, I needed my friends to show up for me. Not the CEO, not the Bridgett Battles experience, not Pastor Bridgett, not Tawana's daughter, not Darian's sister. I needed somebody to show up for Bridgett.
Yeah.
Because I've shown up in so many acts of service and why am I getting emotional again? And giving because I'm so committed to the work that I do, because I want everybody to win. Yeah. And I want people to win because I've known what this process feels like to hurt and to still build at the same time.
Right.
I've known what the process is about, to really have to live in the moment so that you can get to the promise. And so I needed my friends to show up just for Bridgett. And so I shared that story to say, as an entrepreneur, you got to have a tribe in the midst of your help.
Mm-hmm.
Because there comes a time, there has got to be people in your tribe and in your group that can show up just for you and not for the brand. And when people show up for you, that's a part of your self-care. And in order for us to pour on this next level, you got to provide self-care. One of the things that I've learned, over the past few weeks, and that's just been such a blessing to me, which is two things, and I want to get back to what we're talking about. The first thing is you have to feed your joy. We feed everything else, but you got to feed your joy. Somebody put that in the comments. Feed your joy. And so I say that, there was a process of me feeding my joy, my happiness. Mm-hmm. You got to feed your joy. And the second thing is, now I've learned that I have to operate my servitude. I need to serve everybody out of my overflow. That's where I'm living, in the overflow. I'm only serving my clients, my partners. I'm only serving you in my overflow. And that's where my mindset is. So let's get back to this interrogation piece.
Let me interject on that. Let me interject on that one part.
Okay, go ahead on.
What's in the cup belongs to me.
Yes.
What's in the overflow belongs to others.
Yes.
Right? You got to make sure that you take care of you, make sure that you're filled up, right? So that way you're able to be all of who you're supposed to be for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then be the extra for the others. But it's your show. That
was good.
This ain't my show. This is your show.
That's okay. That was good. But that was good. So we talk about the process, yes, with the book, and talk about that in the interrogation piece, and we talk about now. So that was years ago. Mm-hmm. And we fast forward. Not only have I evolved, you said something Friday, which I thought was powerful. I want to make sure you bring it up. And that you said you got to make sure that you don't level out or level up. Well, how did you put it? You
to make sure you level up and not level out.
Right. That's the point I wanted to get to.
When you're in this journey of entrepreneurship, we're talking about circles. We're talking about the interrogation of a thing. You got to make sure you level up. Why would you make lateral moves? That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. You got to make moves that are like stairs. You go up to the next level, you go up to the next level, and you keep going until you get where you're trying to get to. At the same time, that is also to say that you're willing to put investment behind what you are endeavoring to do. Mm-hmm. Just because you can do it over here for $40 may not be the answer to your level up. Your level up is, okay, I need to join this situationship. It's going to cost me $2,000 or whatever. I'm going to make the sacrifice and understand, watch me, that I am making an investment in myself.
Yes.
And I'm going to see the return on investment later in the conversation. May not see it right now, but I'm certainly, positively, if you apply yourself, you're going to see the return on investment. When you put investment money, time, energy, because it's gonna cost you something. Let me be very clear. Let me lean in a little bit, okay? Because make sure that you all hear me very well. The level that you're asking for, want to go to, desire, and etc., it's going to cost you something. It ain't free. I'm sorry, ma'am and sir. It's not free. It's going to come with some level of investment. It will cost you, whether that's money, whether that's time, whether that's treasure, whether that's energy, whether that's ingenuity. It's going to cost you research. It's going to cost you investing and going up into things that you probably have no clue what this is, but it's going to be beneficial for you long term. I made a big investment last year. And I'm being very honest. I made a big investment last year. Now, my return on investment didn't happen all in last year. It is now happening over the course of time. But if I had not invested then, I would not be able to enjoy it now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You know, we both made huge investments last year.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm reaping the harvest, you know, of my investments this year. And so the other thing too, you know, Claude says it all the time. He would just say, I get more press than anybody.
I said to Bridgett last week, I said, I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I said, Bridgett, how are you getting all this press and you ain't got no PR person? You don't get these levels of PR without a press, rather, without some type of PR person that works your back end for you to pitch you to magazines and articles and stations and etc. You got to have a PR person that knows the business to get in some of these doors and a circle to get you notarized. But for her to do what she's done by herself, incredible. It's she has the G in her Bridgett, right? is God, right? It's amazing.
Y'all see my plan.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't pay for that kind of stuff.
I gotta get that on my wall, you know.
I love it. So yeah, it's going to cost you, but go ahead, sis.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you. And then also too, the next point that I wanted to make. So, you know, with it costing you, you have to learn how to manage your time. And so I say that because when you get this next level, you have to shift the way you manage your time. Mm-hmm. Because these opportunities are bigger. So anything that requires a bigger presence requires a different strategy and a different system. And so I use myself for an example. I'm just going to slide this in here. Sure. So I use myself for an example. You know, now that I'm moving into my own talk show, you know, that's going to be on TV real soon, that I'm going to have a full press release over y'all soon, you know. But now my schedule shifts again. So each time you make these investments and you want to level up and not level out, you got to level up your strategy, level up your plan.
Yep.
And learn how to manage your time. That's the key.
Yeah, time management is
manage your time. Listen.
Time management is so key. I say this, and this is just one of my little principles I live by now. Steal my phone, steal my car, steal my money, fine, but don't steal my time. I can't get that back. Mm-hmm. I can't. Time is non-refundable.
Yeah.
Though God has the ability to redeem the time, but this time in which we have here, no ma'am, no sir, do not steal my time. Like,
thank y'all. I'll share with you all which network my talk show is going to be on, everything. So I'm in the beginning phases. I'm figuring out the layout of the show and all of that. Mm-hmm. So it's coming. But I'm just going to slide that on in here. You know, I'm still working behind the scenes to get everything together. But y'all gotta make sure y'all watch. So I'll make sure I'm gonna do a full-on marketing campaign so everybody can watch. But so I also want to be crystal clear too. So for those of you who are watching who are not entrepreneurs, you are still your own personal brand.
Yeah.
And these principles that we're giving to you, they apply to you individually. It's your own personal brand.
Absolutely.
As who you are. So fast forward now, Claude, like I've done all these great things. You've done all these great things. And let's fast forward. Let's talk about the creative genius. Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, you've done a lot of designing for me. You are designing my second book cover. You're designing, my next Coffee with Bridgett mug.
Mm-hmm.
I have another product that's in development now that'll be coming out soon. And so I don't think we have samples of that yet, do we?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. I have another product that's in development. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk again about the helper. Yeah. Because I want to break down what the helper is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know for those of us who have big dreams, because we all got big dreams, and we want to execute all 5,422 of them at the same time.
Yep.
Which is very hard to do,
yep.
Especially if you are a person or a staff of 1 and a 0.1 volunteer. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to do all of that.
0.1 volunteer.
I said 0.1 volunteer because when you don't pay people, you don't get their best. Okay.
Very true.
If you're not paying people, you're not getting their best. You're going to get whatever time and energy they have left over when they have it.
Right.
And if they feel like doing it, and you don't have the leg to stand on, you can't get mad at them.
Period.
That's why they're volunteer. Let's talk about bringing out the
or volunteer, but go ahead.
Yeah, let's bring out the genius. Let's bring out the genius. So fast forward, and I use myself today because I want to make it parallel so that people understand this entire process.
Sure. I got you.
So, fast forward today, we both have grown and we both expanded, and now the genius itself, that brand is exploding.
Mm-hmm.
And, you are leveling up the entrepreneurs that you partner with, that you collaborate with, that you do brand development or product development with. Let's talk about what that process looks like when it comes to product development.
Got it. The conversation around product development, brand development, anything that conversation, I start with intention, right? Let's go back. Excuse me. My apologies. I start with vision.
Mm-hmm.
Any entrepreneur, the platform that we're on, the chair that you're sitting in, where you're viewing this, wherever you are, it became an idea first.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was a vision first. The vision turned into a plan. The plan turned into implementation. And the implementation turned into execution.
Mm-hmm. Did y'all get all of that? Say it one more time.
I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
The vision became a plan.
The vision became a plan.
The plan became implementation.
The plan became implementation.
Implementation became execution.
Implementation, all right, became execution.
So let's go back. The vision of it all, you need to have vision, right? I can't tell you about you.
Mm-hmm.
I could, if I tap into other spiritual things, fine. But that's not the purpose of this conversation. Mm-hmm. You need to know where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to get clarity. Okay, I need to do this, or I want to do this, or this on my heart to do this, etc. Because though I may have an idea what you can do, it's best that you kind of know what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be producing in this time and or season and part of your life. Then from there, we have conversations, interrogate, and all the good stuff. Then we put a plan together to make sure that you are ready to have that conversation. Planning requires, putting in time, putting in energy, seeing where you want to go. Who's your target market? Who's your target audience? Do you have the audience to sustain the product or service that you're desiring to do?
Stop right there.
Sure.
So I want to add something right there. Repeat that last phrase again.
Do you have the audience to sustain what you're trying to do?
Do you have the audience without social media? Because You have to be able to maintain your audience without social media. Social media is a great help.
Yes.
However, you need to be able to maintain it without social media. You need to have a core business.
Correct.
The core business needs to be able to function if Facebook no longer operates.
I'm going to say this, and I'm gonna tag on what you're saying. Social media is an accessory.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm gonna say it for the person in the back because I want to make sure you understand. Because you do a lot of posting, but is your posting converting? Right?
Okay.
I'm going.
I gotta take a. Let me take a squeak right now. I need to come on in the ring. 2 things I need to say when it comes to posting.
Yeah, let's go.
And then we're gonna come back to the picking. When it comes to posting, you gotta pay attention to your analytics on the backside, because you want to know when is the best time to post so you're reaching your target market. The second thing is that when you are posting, you want to make sure that you're speaking directly to the person that's hemorrhaging, to the person who has the pain, to the person who has the issue. And the way that you have that conversation with them is you speak to them like you were speaking to yourself, because you created a product or became a service-based entrepreneur because you had an issue. You were hemorrhaging and you needed a way to stop the bleeding.
Right.
And so you created this service-based business to stop your own bleeding. You know that it works. You are the subject matter expert because it has helped you. So that's your proven results. So now when it comes to social media, you have to post and think about the conversation you had internally for the issue. When we don't post that way, we don't convert and we don't cash out. And here's the other thing. You have to be so careful when you are an entrepreneur or a personal brand, that when you infuse your personal life, granted, we want to see your humanity, but we don't want to get so engulfed in your personal life that when things happen or I need you, I'm wondering if you are able to service me, because now I follow a chronicle of everything that you have been enduring. And so it's important. I want to make a funny right here, and Claude, don't kill me. So y'all, I text Claude and I say, "You going to the funeral?" I be like, "Claude, you going to the funeral? You going to the funeral?" He's like, and let me tell you why. And this is brilliant. As entrepreneurs, you always want to have low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit in your business or your brand is what converts easily, is quick cash, doesn't require a lot, and you can keep on moving. It's one and done. So I said, "Claude, you going to the funeral?" So you might ask me, why am I asking Claude, is he going to the funeral? I'll tell you, anytime anybody transitions from this side of heaven to the other side of heaven, Claude already has an obituary created and an announcement. But he doesn't post it until the family posts. And so what happens is this: 9 times out of 10, the family sees what he has created. So the family reaches out and contacts him in order for him to do the graphics for the funeral. Yeah. So I'm saying all that to say, you got to have some low-hanging fruit. And that's one area that I know that you have low-hanging fruit. You know, you create that funeral obituary, that announcement so fast, and y'all, it don't even have those wings on it. It don't have none of that kind of stuff on it. It's a full-on presentation.
That's another conversation. Presentation, but I subconsciously have done them, right? Because I'm like, I just want to celebrate and commemorate their life, number one, as a creative to whoever they are, whatever they've done in the earth. I just want to celebrate that. And at the same time, subconsciously, what happens is people start seeing the work. People start tagging the work. That's one thing that goes viral. Then she didn't mention, but there are other things that go viral as well. I did like this. I did a spoof graphic, all right? I did a spoof graphic. I did President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and a few others, right? And called it the Takeover and Takeover Revival or whatever. And I had like a slew of preachers on there, including Louis Farrakhan and all these different people. It took off. It went like wildfire, but like wildfire, like everybody was reposting it and it went crazy. Before I knew it, I had at least 5 major people in my DMs,
right,
asking me, okay, we want to talk to you about, brand strategy, graphics, whatever the case may be. But yeah.
So you gotta have some low hanging fruit.
Yes.
Those are things you get quick wins on. Y'all get your questions ready. Because me and Claude ready to start answering your questions. So put your questions in the comments. Put your questions. So, we talk about, posting and social media graphics. And now, given the pandemic, everybody was in this space. So everybody's in this space, and so everybody was having to have church. We're all working, and everybody now has to pivot. And I think we moved from the pivot now. We're just in a whole different place. So let's talk about now, creating those graphics that get you traction, creating those graphics so that you don't look like everybody else. Creating social media, call to actions so that when you show up on the scene, that people actually pay attention to what you're doing.
What part are we going to address? Because that was a whole lot. Which part are we going to address first? Because there's so much to have a conversation about.
Okay, let's start with the graphic portion. Okay,
so let's talk about the graphic, right? So let's be clear. Just because you can do it, that don't make it right.
Say it again.
Just because you can do it, that don't make it right. And I'm looking left and right because I don't want to single nobody out in the back. Yes, you can go on a particular sites and etc. and use applications to design your graphic. Not a problem. However, how do you want to be seen represented in your field? How do you want the customers and viewers and your audience to see to respect and treat your brand? Right? Is your graphic polished? Are your pictures polished? Do you have to be?
Let's talk about the pictures.
Okay.
Sure. So, which means with the pictures, I know the iPhone 12 takes amazing pictures.
It does.
I have the iPhone 11 Plus. It takes amazing pictures. But some of those pictures can only be used not for my batched content.
No.
They can only be used for standalone if I'm inviting you into the lifestyle segment of Bridgett Battles. Those pictures can't be used for the overall brand of the Bridgett Battles experience. No, because what happens is the resolution and it does not show up as authentic and as polished.
Correct. You want it polished. You want it to you want the graphic that you're presenting, the content that you're presenting, the effort that you're presenting to the public. We're talking about presentation. Let me narrow it down. We're talking about presentation. You need to represent how you want to be represented in the field. Again, we're talking about the leveling up. The leveling up comes with some level of investment. So you need to pay a graphic designer that's gonna do what needs to be done for your brand. Let's talk about your logo. Let's make sure that conversation of that logo is what, and I can have a whole class about just logos alone. Your brand colors. What colors of your brand are supposed to be there? What are not supposed to be there? There needs to be a full conversation about your personal branding and your style guide, and etc. Yes, Bridgett.
Teacher, pick me. Yes, pick me, teacher. I say that because Claude designed my logo, the 2 BBs that y'all like in black and gold, which I absolutely love. My logo. Claude designed my logo. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I appreciate was a learning thing for me. Ilani is on here. Ilani has a book. Ilani, I want you to get this too. what I learned is this. So now that I'm speaking more and speaking on bigger circuits and bigger networks, people ask me for my hex codes.
Yep.
I don't know what a hex code is. All I know is my logo is black and gold. So I shoot Claude a message and say, you ever heard of a hex code? What's my hex code? He sends me back my hex code. I'm like, oh, okay. I send it back to the people I'm going to speak for. They ping, 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 ping. And all my stuff is branded with my appropriate branding colors based on the hex code. So I said that to say when it comes to logos and graphics, when you want to play in a bigger circle, those are the things that are important. If I would have created it in an application on my iPhone, I would have had no idea, nor would I have looked as polished as some of these 7-figure entrepreneurs that I'm standing beside.
I want to answer.
What's the hex code? Angela, I don't know what it stands for, but I just know Claude knew what to give me. So tell her what a hex code is.
A hex code is a designated color code for the color that you're using. For every color in the world, there is a hex color code. It is a series of letters and numbers that formulate this code. The red that I have on is a specific red in the hex color code system. All right. The yellow that's in Bridget's background, the yellow flowers, that is a specific yellow. So when I get that color code, right, I can take that as a graphic design professional, as a creative professional. I can input that information inside of my software, and it's a color match. Everything is on brand. You want to make sure that your brand is on brand. Period. The red that's in Wendy's is not the same red that's in McDonald's. Two different colors. It looks tricking to the eye. I should have a whole branding class, but it looks tricking to the eye, right? But their reds are too different. The blue that's in Bank of America is not the same blue that's in SunTrust. It's two different blues. All right.
So that's what I had to learn. So now the networks and the places that I'm speaking at, they ask me now for my hex codes. They ask me for detailed things. And I send it over to Claude. All right, tell me what I need. And so that comes along with, with social media, with your graphics and everything. All of my graphics, everything I do uses the same hex code. Whatever colors we're using, we use the same hex code for every single thing. Now that I became aware of that. Right. And to go back to what Claude said, make sure your brand is on brand.
Yeah, make sure.
And so what I love about that is that so people know anytime they see the black and gold BB, they know it's me. They know it's Bridgett Battles. And so when your brand is on brand, we know it's you without you even having to speak.
Yep. That builds
together. Go ahead.
That builds the trust factor. That builds what I call the know, like, and trust. K like LT is the KLT framework. You want to be a trustworthy brand that can be trusted, so they know that you're branding always. I could have easily designed a flyer for this situationship. I actually did do it, but I didn't use it. I said, no. I'm a guest on her platform, so let me use what she's already generated with her brand colors and etc. from her team. I'm a part of the team, but from her team, and use that and push that forward and let that be that, because it stays on brand with her. I'm a guest here. I'm a guest on her show. She's not a guest on my show. Right now, when she comes to my show, it's a whole different conversation, right? I can do that if I wanted to. 9 times out of 10, when I do interviews, I am either wearing some pink or yellow or blue, because those are part of my brand colors, right? But I said for BB, because she's the fashionista, I'm do a little red, just do a little pattern, we're gonna be all right. I got on a leopard shoe down here, so I got a little few things going on, but at the same time, I'm still on brand. Right, I'm still got to stay on brand for what you're doing. Go ahead. Anybody has a question? You tell me what we're doing.
Yes. Tiffany said, do you teach graphic classes?
I do.
Tiffany, he does teach graphic classes. You can log on to www.claudehamilton.com.
Yes, you can go to claudehamilton.com to find out more about that, or you can just go to simply joinmywaitlist.com, joinmywaitlist.com, and that's where those classes are going to be held.
Yes, joinmywaitlist.com. Okay. All right. So I hope this is, y'all put in the comments. Let me know if this is good. If this is good. This is good.
I want to say this too. Before you continue, we're skimming the surface on a lot of this conversational stuff. Like, I want to make sure I'm very clear. There is a whole deep dive that you have to be prepared for when it comes to branding and product development and etc. And you have to be ready for that. You need that. Let me say this for someone in the back, because we're talking about help. The help will assist you getting to your destination. Mm-hmm. The help has the responsibility, watch me, and the necessity to absolutely check you should they need to check you. Mm-hmm. They should be able to snatch your edges if they need to. If you go too far, reel it on in. If you ain't going far enough, your help should be a pusher and a puller. They need duality, right? So whoever that help is in your life, they need to be able to do that. And you got to be able to sit there in that seat and receive it. If it's you, take a chew.
If it's you, take a chew.
If it's you, take a chew.
Okay? If it's you, take a chew. That's true. Because when I first started getting professional photo shoots, I wanted to post all the pictures at one time. I wanted to post them all. Remember that? I wanted to post all the pictures at one time. Okay.
No, we're not doing that.
Right. And so having people on my team, which shout out to my entire squad. Let me pause for a second. My entire squad. Of course, Pastor Cameron Washington, who's away on his birthday. But the backup is here tonight, Shaquilla. And of course, Claude, my graphics. And then my amazing virtual team in the background. And they hear me. And they're the ones who is making all the comments, who are in the comment section. So y'all know that's not me typing and interviewing at the same time. So that's Shy and PJ. When I tell you they keep me on it, they manage my calendar. They keep me, it's alerts telling me where I need to be next, making sure I'm prepared and all of that. So shout out to my entire BB squad. And of course, my makeup artist, Feliza Artistry. Listen, so it takes an entire 6 people every week to get me here. Like, it takes 6 people to get me here. Behind the scenes, people that are working the camera. Yeah. All of this, it takes a lot of work. What should a budget be for someone who's starting out with a product that needs branding services? What should a budget be for someone who is starting out with a product that needs branding services?
I'm going to say I can't fully answer that. I'm going to say why. Because depending upon what you are fully needing will determine what that budget is. Now, if you talk to various graphic designers and find out what are their logo packages and what does that include, that's where your conversation needs to be. Depending upon, watch me, I'm going to give you something else. Depending upon the level of your intention will reveal the level of your investment. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say that again. The level of your intention will always
give us the jazz hands, though. Okay,
absolutely.
You give us the jazz hands.
The level of your intention will always reveal the level of your investment. So if you have a product, right, you're gonna need a logo, you're gonna need a full branding kit, and etc. You need all of that conversation. At the same time, you're going to then eventually start going into, I need mock-ups of this particular thing. You're going to have to get brand photography for this particular thing. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to have to always be making an investment to get to the end goal. It is your process, and you can't shy away from it. You can't cut. Let me be very clear. Please don't cut no corners. Just don't. It's just wise. Just don't cut no corners, because you're going to have to go back 10 steps just to get back to the 10th step, so you can make 11, 12, and 13. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And be okay with not having it all at one time.
Oh yeah.
Do it in phases. Don't try to come out the gate doing every single thing at one time. Do it in phases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you want to perfect what you have before you add on additional things.
Mm-hmm.
And you also want to build your collateral. You want to build your relationships before you add on something different.
Yeah, and have conversations. Is to have conversations with graphic designers, again, to find out what their package is and what does that include. And oh Lord, I feel like I'm about to go into another side panel. You want to make sure that when you're having conversation with the graphic designer, that you're getting all the files that you need to go be great. Let me be very clear with you. If you're a photographer, if you're graphic designer is doing the logo of what you're doing inside of Canva, wrong. If you're doing it inside of Photoshop,
rewind, say it one more time.
Yeah, if you're doing your logo inside of Canva, wrong. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what you don't know about Canva, and I'm gonna keep moving. Mm-hmm. Canva owns the rights to your logo. It's quiet. Read the terms. It's quiet. Read the terms and conditions. They own the logo.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You don't own it. You, my friend, don't own it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Y'all know that if you do your logo in Canva, Canva owns the rights to your logo.
Owns the rights to it.
Yeah. Now, I like Canva for my social media posts. I do. Yeah. But for my graphics and big presentations and stuff like that, then it needs to be full on, with Illustrator and all those types of things. Yes. But so we're not saying don't use Canva at all. No. But that's not what we're saying. But we are saying that you do things in phases.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me go ahead and share something else, which is a teachable moment that I learned. Sure. And I think this will help someone else too. I learned this from Claude, and that is this. So y'all, even if you know further down the road that you're going to add on a product or a service, you may not launch it now. Go ahead and buy that domain name.
That's a trick. Why you give my gym? That's my gym. You don't give away my gym.
Yeah. I own 35 domains. I own meetbridgett.com. Anything I could get with my name on it, because if I create something 10 years from now, I don't want nobody else owning anything with my name on it.
Exactly. That is facts.
I own Meet Bridgett, Greet Bridgett, Hello Bridgett.
You'll probably say, oh my God, why do I have to go buy the domain? Because you don't know when you're going to need it. It makes no sense that everybody on this platform should not own their .com.
That's right.
Everybody on this platform that watches this in the replay, that watches it live right now, you need to own your name .com.
That's right. Because you know what else happens? When you start growing and you get bigger and people see you successful, somebody will swoop in and try to get your idea or get your domain name. And then they'll try to sell it back to you.
Oh, yes, they will. And for more than what it's worth.
Yeah. So when they have the sales that say 99 cents for a domain name, anytime they have a sale for 99 cents, I buy any domain name I can think of.
Today I bought $100 worth of domain names. Today.
Yeah.
$100. Just today.
Uh-huh.
That ain't got nothing to do with anything else I got going on. That's just in domains.
Yeah.
Claude, you crazy? Yes. Remember when Maxine Waters said reclaiming my time a few years ago?
Uh-huh.
I own that domain.
You bought reclaimingmytime.com.
I have reclaimingmytime.com.
So that means if they ever want to do reclaimingmytime.com, they got to buy it back from you.
They got to try. I can put it back up for sale and try to sell it, right? But they can't get it. I got it.
Yeah.
See, that's a whole nother conversation, Bridgett. We got that's coaching. That's a different level of.
I'll tell you, I own about 35 names, and I'm probably, when I see the sale going again, I'm probably gonna get another 35. So. Yeah. All right. So y'all, do y'all have any questions? Do you have any questions for us? Have any questions for us? Mm-hmm. Angela, you're right. Angela said, you're not selling me my stuff back to me. Angela, You're not gonna sell me my name back.
No, at all. I have a lot. I have over 100 domains at the time of this conversation. I have
You're
over.
not gonna sell my stuff back.
Because I'm after something. I understand. Watch me. I understand that my name means millions. So therefore, I have to invest like a millionaire. And it's also called internet real estate. So you want to buy that stuff up. I can't say that publicly. Just know that there's some popular people who did not buy their name, and I bought it. That's all I got.
We helping y'all. Okay, we helping y'all.
You said, Claude, you really did that? Yes, because no one is thinking how to be smart. You have to think, smart.
Internet real estate. Yeah. Once you told me that, I started buying up anything I could with my name on it.
Anything that you're going to do in the future, buy it.
Because now that I'm moving into the talk show phase,
I
want to make sure nobody else has my name, Yeah.
Period. So when they go to previewbattles.com or whatever the show shall be, take the .com, take it away. So
even if I'm not even launching anything on it yet, I don't
care. Take it. You own it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you still can't use it. Yeah, this is internet real estate.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all have any questions for us? Fast forward now. So I'm on my second book. Claude and I are just having our strategy sessions now for the second book. I'm going through my interrogation phase now. I'm going through my interrogation, for the second book.
Because y'all don't understand. Like in my head, I'm replaying conversations that we've had, and so for her to say it publicly is hilarious to me. It's like
because it's true.
It's true.
It is true, and so even though we laugh and being funny, but when we talk about business, we set up official business meetings. Just because you're my boss friend, I don't text him on the side and say, "Oh, can you whip up a graphic for me?" Or, "Oh, can you do this for me?" No, I set up an actual meeting.
Yep, she does.
You have to respect the business. The same way I want people to respect my business and respect my time, I have to do that as well.
Yeah, you have to. If you don't set boundaries like that, those lines will get crossed.
Love you too, Angela.
Those lines will get crossed immediately. Like it's just it'll get crossed immediately. But you want to make sure that when you're having conversations with whomever, someone inboxed me the other day on Instagram, and they just went in with the whole conversation of me trying to work with them, and they wanted me to call them right then. And I said, well, when is the best time to call you? Because I'm unavailable at this time of this conversation. And it was like, oh, you really gonna do that? I'm sorry, I'm at work. And if you want to talk to me, it's going to go through this channel. You got to do what you have to do from there. So it is what it is. It just is what it is.
And I'm gonna put this last gem out there and see if you got any more questions that Claude said that has been in my spirit.
Sure.
Sis and bruh is not a coupon.
I wasn't gonna say it, but okay, you done pushed the button. First of all, it's my shirt. It's my saying. So if you go back and use it, I'm coming for you, and it's already pending with the trademark office. That's a whole.
Ain't nobody on here gonna use it. I trust
you. Yes, bro and sis, don't bro me, book me.
Right.
Sis and bro it's not a coupon code. It's not. If they're really your supporters and they're really your friends and they're really your supporters of your community, they're going to go and follow through your process and pay the price. Now, should you want to give them a discount, that's your business. But them asking for it, I think, is very rude.
Yeah.
Like
Tanya, I hope you got that. Sis and bro is not a coupon, okay? Don't book me.
It's not a coupon. Don't. I get that all the time, bro. No. Here's the invoice. The invoice is in full. Here you go. Yeah. Pay that.
My cousin said, I just gained so much knowledge. Thank you, cousin. You gotta make sure you watch because you never know what's gonna happen on here. That's right. Listen, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Listen. Oh my God, Claude, this has been so much fun.
It has. Does anybody else have any questions? I
cannot believe we've been here for an hour. Can you believe that?
I feel like I just started talking, honestly. But okay.
Do we help anybody?
I hope this is good.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Do we help anybody? Well, I got one more thing I want to add, and then I'm going to let you go. And I'm just going to go on out there, okay?
When I say Bridgett's giving all of my gems, I be trying to hold back because I don't know which way Bridgett's going to go, but go ahead.
Let's talk about church flyers.
Oh, what about it?
Let's talk about these church flyers.
What about it?
Let's talk about these church flyers. Because we want people to come to our church. We want people to come to
our church flyers. What about? Okay, so there's so much to have a conversation about. Okay, first of all, dear pastor and first lady, go get some new pictures. Number one. Stop using the same picture that you took from the banquet 15 years ago.
From the banquet.
Yes, from the church banquet with that corsage on it. And you want your graphic design. Well, can you just take the corsage out? We still love this picture. Go take some new pictures. Find a photographer and get some pictures taken. Second of all, stop using a 57,682 600.5 fonts on a flyer. Stop it. Did you know there is a psychology to how we read and dissect information? Did you know that? So why not have a graphic designer or somebody that can lay it out so it looks good? And then the other thing is, now I understand certain cases you have to put a whole bunch of people on a flyer. But you can't get mad when everybody got to be in squares and or circles. There's 17,000 people on a flyer. Pick your poise.
You got to be in squares or circles.
You got to be in squares or circles because it's too many people. You're trying to advertise, right? But then that makes you start going into, watch the word I'm about to say. I'm about to teach all you a new word. You need to ask your graphic designer, hey, I have this such event. Let's do a full-on campaign for this event. Mm-hmm. When we roll out Bridgett's new book, it's not just a whole bunch of flyers. It's a campaign. This and this, but all of it's going to marry. All of it's going to make sense. All of it's going to be professional. All of it's going to be creative and etc. But we're not just doing one-off flyers. Most of you end up doing one-off flyers and you stuck, and that's all you post for the next.
And you can't do that when you got a product or service coming out. You can't do a one-off flyer, and you can't just post one time. You got to be consistent with it if you want people to support your brand. And one of the illustrations I use is this. I love Fashion Nova. Never bought anything from Fashion Nova. I just like to look at the stuff. But I went on their website one time. Do you know Fashion Nova emails me every single day? And so what happens is this. As consumers, when we see things 7 or 8 times, it starts to sink in. Yep. Then it makes you curious.
Yep.
Then it makes you say, let me try it out. Then you start to invest in it. It might be a small investment in the beginning.
Low risk.
But it's quality, then you coming back.
Yeah, it's low risk. So when something that's low risk, you good. So that's how it works.
Yes.
But anybody else have any questions?
Anybody else have any questions?
No more questions? I was ready to answer some questions tonight.
Y'all ain't got no more questions? Listen, y'all getting a whole free session here tonight, okay? Because these sessions is not free.
It's not.
But I wanted to make sure we was a blessing to everybody tonight because there's so many amazing, men and women on here. Ilani, you got any questions? Tiffany, you got any questions? Let's see who else is on here. Dr. Colonna. I love Dr. Colonna. Dr. Colonna Roberts is amazing. Dr. Colonna, you have any questions? Tanya, you got any questions? All right, just want to make sure. Hey, Erica, thanks for hanging out with me. All right. Everybody's saying this has been a major blessing. I
hope this was good.
This was very good. This is very good. So, Claude, can you tell my audience how Ilani said, I'm good. I took notes. Now, Tiffany is in my private coaching group. And so I'll take what's so funny. Hey, David Frazier, I love you.
I love David Frazier. David Frazier is amazeballs. Thank you.
Listen, I need to get David Frazier to write me a song for my talk show.
He'll do it.
So let me tell you about Tiffany. I love Tiffany. Tiffany is in my private coaching group, and we're working together, coming up with some amazing things for her brand and boutique. So one night, I gave out a lot of content, and I said, we talked about church, and we talked about a lot of different things. So Tiffany had all these notes. This is Tiffany's claim to fame. This is her famous line. I asked her something at the end about church, and she said, I'm just focusing on being a good member right now, okay? And so she's very active in her church. But it reminds me of, as entrepreneurs, we got to focus on one thing at a time, okay? Entrepreneurs, if there's nothing that we've said or done that you can remember, focus on one thing at a time, okay? So you can be great at it. And people don't second guess doing business with you.
Yeah, master it. How I got here was me mastering graphic design, mastering product development, mastering my craft. The nights of investment that I've spent in just learning and gleaning and learning and gleaning and growing and then implementing it, planning, implementation, and execution. Back to that whole conversation. I do that consistently. That is my formula. If you want to know my sauce, that's my sauce. I plan, I implement, I execute, and incite and repeat. Keep going. So that way I keep going over and over and growing. By the time I finish in 30 days or in 60 days or 90 days, you look at your growth and you can measure like, dang, I did this. I was this place at day 1, but I was over here at day 90. Mm-hmm. Look at that value. Then you can go back and change your prices. Hello, somebody. Mm-hmm. So one thing I'm doing this year, and I'm done. One thing I did this year is between every 90 and every 90 days or so, I'm going back and revisiting my price list because I'm challenging myself to grow in 90 days. So that way everything's changing, everything's moving. Nope, no. Well, I thought your price is this. Yep, we changed prices this year. I thought you went up one time a year. No, I'm changing it. I want to expand. I want to scale my business to a certain degree, and I'm challenging myself on the business front. And watch this: I'm holding my clients and my customers accountable and calling them to a higher place. Come on, let's go.
That's right.
Don't just get them. Yeah, your flyers at such price. They are, but why not turn this into a full campaign that can be amazing for you, and you have more things to post, you have more things to talk about when you have a full campaign. You just putting up a flyer, get my coffee mug. Get my coffee mug. Same flyer.
Get my coffee mug.
It's the same conversation. Are you going to put the coffee mug in the environment? Do different things with it. Shoot with the coffee mug. Let somebody else hold the coffee mug. Tell your influencers, take a picture, send the coffee mug to somebody. I know a lady right now. She decided to start making leather bags. Right? Found a wonderful vendor to do some leather bags, luxury. She spent a lot of money to absolutely find basketball players, football players, and etc., and gift them a bag. The only thing she actually in return was just posted on social media with the bag. She's now made over $1 million in just her bag company.
It's her bag, yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah. Tiffany said, how often do you offer classes?
For graphic design?
Yeah.
The graphic design is a school, and it's a at-will learning kind of conversation. It hopefully, if all goes well plan, everything launches in July, the 6th month, and you'll be able to walk through everything, see everything. I'll walk you through everything with courses and all the good stuff. So it's a course situation where you're in it and you can be a part. You have access to it as long as you are a paying member of Ingenious Academy, because that's exactly what that is.
Yes. All right, so tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, Claude.
info@claudehamilton.com is my email address. And if you can't remember that, go to claudehamilton.com. That's my first and my last name.com. And any information you need to know is there on the website. I am getting ready to pull down the entire site and redo everything, right? So while you have an opportunity, go over there to get that. go over there and get my price sheet. If you get my rate sheet, rather, you'll go ahead and get on my email list. So when I'm doing new things at Caliber, boom, you'll be the first one to know what I'm getting ready to do, what I'm getting ready to drop. But that site is ClaudeHamilton.com, where you can find out things, all things me. There's some media over there. There's some ministry over there. There is some marketing over there as well. I look forward to working with any and every last one of you.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. So make sure you follow Claude on all social media outlets. His name's Claude Hamilton. And if you're not following me, make sure you follow me on all social media outlets. And if you're still looking for Mother's Day gifts, tonight I am wearing, these are called Immerse. Yes, these are called Immerse. Yes, and they are on www.thebbexperience.com.
Love it.
So, by all means, please log on to my website, subscribe to my mailing list. You don't want to miss when I announce, the day the talk show debuts. You don't want to miss anything. Tons of stuff coming out. Every day I feel like I have so much to share with all of you, but I definitely want to bring you along on the journey because I want you to pull out from my journey what you can use to help you on your journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, raise your coffee cups. All right, Claude, to the next time. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I love you all so much. If you got questions, put them in the comment section. You want to hear from us, connect with us, talk with us, leave it in the comment. We'll be going through the comment section and, responding back to everybody also too. Sure. All right, love you so much. Claude, hold up your cup so we can cheers. All right, talk to everybody soon. Bye.
Bye.